Worshippers escaped death as truck rammed into mosque in Niger. Kano government charges Ganduje wife with $413,000, 1.38 billion naira robbery. NIMET predicts thunderstorm and sunshine across Nigeria. And last on the international scene, Canada increases permanent residence fees by 12%. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. Now the news in detail. Worshippers have escaped death at a mosque in Barade House opposite Old Licensing Office in Kontagora, Niger State, when a truck loaded with baskets of mango lost control and rammed into the veranda of the mosque. Though no life was lost and no injuries recorded, reports said worshippers had just dispatched a few minutes after the Tahajjud prayers around 4 a.m. on Thursday morning when the incident happened. The incident reportedly happened close to a section where women and children stayed for the night prayers. The driver was said to have taken off from Bidda, Niger State, and was heading to Sokoto with the goods and 4 passengers when he dozed off and left the road. A yet-to-be-identified persons died while 2 other persons were injured as an articulated vehicle rammed into pedestrians along Onitsha-Saba bridgehead. It was gathered that the accident happened on Thursday and the cause of the crash was attributed to brake failure. An eyewitness said that the vehicle had a brake failure as the driver was ascending the River Niger bridge en route to Asaba. The Staff Officer of Public Education of the Federal Road Safety Corps in Anambra, C.A. Oyegwe Niwe, confirmed the crash in a statement. He advised motorists to ensure regular maintenance of the vehicles and adhere to traffic rules. Now, the federal government has distributed relief materials to victims of banditry across local government areas of Katsina State. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi, who monitored the distribution exercise, reports that it was carried out by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, on behalf of the federal government. Here's the report.
Each of these victims has his or her own side of the story to tell. Many here have lost their loved ones as well as their means of livelihood to bandits, while many still have their families in captivity. To many here, it is not just about collecting relief materials, but also an opportunity to come face to face with the political actors whom they believe have what it takes to address their current challenges.
This relief material means a lot to me and the rest of my family, at least for some days. I lost my entire means of livelihood to bandits. The struggle now is to get what to put body and soul together. They burnt my house and food items, forced me to sell my farmland to pay ransom for my abducted family members.
Bandits killed some of my family members. My parents are still in captivity, and I myself was abducted twice. I just regained my freedom after payment of ransom. What else can I do? I thank God for this gesture.
At the moment, the number of internally displaced persons in Katsina State keeps increasing by the day, with many squatting in private and public buildings or with their relatives as the government has no official camps for IDPs. The non-provision of IDP camps, according to the government, was to avert a humanitarian crisis and other disasters.
The other time when it was 223,000 for IDPs in Katsina State. But that particular week, which Uruma, Goda, and Lambo have been attacked within the local government area, it has shooting up with about 16,000. So in such direction, within that week, we have resumed back, we have provided peace and everything. They went back to their community. It has gone back down now. Kankara and so on now, they have gone back also, because there is attack of Erboje and other area, where they have now started going back to their communities.
They should make use of it and they should be patient. Also, we should keep hands on deck and pray to the state government and federal government to have peace and stability of the nation at all. We have another intervention which would cover the whole 34 local government, which is a grant from federal government worth about more than 300 million naira, and we'll distribute it to all the 34 local government inshallah very soon.
The devastating effects of banditry in Katsina State has caused serious socio-economic difficulties, inflicting damages that could take governments and other stakeholders several years to address. The beneficiaries were drawn from Faskari, Kankara, Kurifi, Bazari, Jibia, and Bakori local government areas. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Moving away from Katsina, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on ECOWAS member states to come together, strengthen ties and reject forces bent on causing division within the community. He spoke on Thursday at the inauguration of the 6th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja. Kendi Amodu has more in this report.
The ECOWAS Parliament represents the hub of democratic activity in the West African sub-regional body. To deepen democratic interface, the ECOWAS Parliament is seeking enhanced powers, primarily through the election of its members by direct universal suffrage. President Tinubu, who is the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, is in support of this.
Reinforcing the legitimacy of decisions taken by authority of head of state is key in sending a message that ECOWAS is one body. It is also very important that the executives, on the other hand, must show similar confidence in Parliament, respect the Parliament resolutions, which will indeed deepen democracy in our region.
He's also concerned about regional solidarity, which he says is key to strengthening the bloc's resilience and effectiveness at this critical time in history.
We cannot afford to remain passive and ordinary spectators while our community faces the threat of disintegration. We stand united against such forces and are committed to ensuring that our unity remains unshaken.
Other speakers at this inauguration are in agreement with the Nigerian president that the parliament is critical to regional integration, prosperity, and development.
Our region faces serious political, economic, environmental, and security challenges. Even our collective community commitment to unity has been questioned. The role of the parliament is, therefore, more important than ever. The balance between executive, judicial, and legislative arms is critical for effective, responsive, and transparent governance.
Let us use ECOWAS, and particularly ECOWAS Parliament, to ensure that national boundaries are not Berlin walls separating kith and kings, but bridges of unity and progress. The road ahead is filled with new challenges and opportunities, some already enumerated by the President of the ECOWAS.
Meanwhile, Deputy Senate President of Nigeria, Barau Jibrin, has emerged acting Speaker of the 6th Legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament. Senator Barau, who is the leader of the Nigerian delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, emerged during the inaugural session of the Assembly. From the federal capital, Kendi Amodu, Trust TV News.
Now, the Plateau House of Assembly Speaker, Honorable Gilbert Dewan, has finally sworn in 9 out of the 16 members of the All Progressives Congress APC who were declared winners by the Appeal Court. The new lawmakers were declared winners after the Court of Appeal sacked the 16 PDP members on the grounds that their party was not qualified to sponsor candidates in the election. The Speaker had stated that he received a court directive not to swear in the affected members until a determination of the suit filed by sacked PDP lawmakers which challenged the appeal court judgment. And the Speaker swore in the 9 members of the old government house, where the house is temporarily conducting its legislative activities. No reason was given as to why the remaining 7 members were not sworn in by the house. The Kano state government has filed criminal charges against the immediate past governor, Abdullahi Umar Kaduje, over alleged $413,000, 1.38 billion naira bribery. The state said it had assembled 15 witnesses to testify against Kaduje, joined as co-defendant in the charge sheet dated April 3, 2024, cited where Ganduje's wife Hafsat and his son Umar. Also listed as defendants were Jibrila Muhammad, Lamash Properties Limited, Safari Textiles Limited, and Lasad General Enterprises. Governor Abba Yusuf had an assumption of office accused Ganduje of misappropriating public funds and allocating plots of land to some members of his immediate family. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted thunderstorms and sunshine across the country. NIMET's weather outlook released on Thursday in Abuja predicted a sunny atmosphere over the northern region throughout the forecast period on Friday. The agency envisaged isolated thunderstorm over parts of Kebbi, Zamfara and Kaduna states during the afternoon and evening periods. According to the agency, sunny skies with few cloud patches are expected over north-central region during the morning hours. NIMET predicted sunny skies on Saturday with few cloud patches over parts of northwest and parts of the northeast to be sunny and dry during the morning hours. The agency anticipated a isolated thunderstorm over parts of Kebbi, Zamfara, Taraba and the Kaduna states later in the day. According to NIMET, the north central should be sunny, few cloud patches during the morning hours. Residents of Guzakpe district of Federal Capital Territory Abuja have called on the National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency, the Ministry of Mines and Solid Mineral Development, the Federal Ministry of Environment and FCDA to stop the frequent blast by Gileamo Construction Nigeria Limited, which they say is affecting their lives and properties. Amid the call at a press conference held near the blast site in Abuja on Thursday. Addressing journalists, one of the residents and former Kogi State Deputy Governor Simon Latruba said they have to hold the brief to inform the world about their plight. He said the occupants and owners of properties in the area have been living without fear for almost a decade, with various developments approved by statutory authorities, including the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA. According to the residents, instead of exercising restraints, the company resorted to aggressive work using powerful blast. The resident further noted that while they acknowledged that the purpose of the blast was for construction of road and development of Guzakbe district, they said the road should have been done 10 years ago when there was no approved development plan for housing given by the FCDA in that area. You're watching Trust TV News Updates, and coming up after the break, we'll take a look at how tailors decry poor power supply as pressure mounts to deliver new clothes for Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Details of that story and more when we return from this short break. Do join us again. It's good to have you join us again. You're watching the news updates on Trust Television. Let's go over some of our headlines again. We told you earlier that worshippers escaped death as truck rammed into mosque in Niger. And the Kano government charges Ganduje and wife with $413,000 and 1.38 billion naira bribery. And moving on to more stories, 16 days after after the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company disconnected University College Hospital in Ibadan, your state, for owing 495 million naira. Power has been restored to the health facility. Reports said that electricity was restored around 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, and the Electricity Distribution Company disconnected the facility on March 19, the third time in less than 2 months over what it's called accumulated bill indebtedness. While giving reasons for the disconnection, the Ibadan Disco explained that it disconnected the hospital after failed attempts to engage with the facility's management regarding the 495 million naira debt, which has persisted for over 6 years. The GAC chairman, Oludayo Olagbampe, lamented that the health workers had been working without electricity since March 19 and could not continue that way. Now, wearing new clothes is one of the rituals of Eid in Islam, and as such, Muslims in different parts of the world buy new dresses to observe the festival according to the teachings of Islam. During such festivities, Nigerian tailors work under immense pressure to meet the high demands of customers. With less than a week to the 2024 Eid al-Fitr, Trust TV examines how tailors work amidst infrastructural challenges as they struggle to meet customers' deadlines in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Ibrahim Ismail has more in this report.
Tailors at the popular Wuse market in Abuja are busy trying to meet the deadlines amidst mounting pressure from customers ahead of the 2024 Eid al-Fitr celebration. The pressure on them is compounded by the epileptic power supply, which is crucial to their work in the country. Made up of tailors and textile retailers, these entrepreneurs battle with high running costs due to the lingering energy crisis in the country.
It affects us very well. It affects us. Now they say they have increased tariff. Without light, we cannot work. And not even the light that we are telling now is light we are using to work. No light to work. And they say they have increased it now.
So government should look into it. Daily we spend 8,000. We might make 10,000, then spend 8,000 of fuel. Our profit might be 2,000. Can 2,000 sustain us? So this is one of the key factors that the government should look into.
They say there is a decline in the number of customers this period due to the poor economy. Hence, the workload is moderate. Meanwhile, the inability of some tailors to deliver on time has been linked to clients' failure to bring their jobs on time.
And another thing is, some of the customers too, they will just drop the material with you, and then you are looking at least 50 or 60% of deposit to enable you deliver or buy material to deliver. You will not see the customer until the day of collection. So you will find out that the tailor was not in position to finance the job and deliver at time. So in that situation, you'll find disappointment. To start the fasting is another issue in the family. So the patronage from the tailor angle is very low. I don't know whether that is why, because we don't have too much challenges this time around. Because as we rightly know, we have just few days to the Salah.
Be that as it may, thousands of customers who were able to afford new clothes are eagerly waiting for their tailors to fulfill their obligations ahead of the Eid festival next week. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now to happenings outside Nigeria. The Canada Immigration Department said it is raising fees for permanent residency applications starting April 30, 2024, and the fee will increase from $515 to $575, reflecting a 12% rise following Canadian regulations tied to the Consumer Price Index. Canada waived the fee for dependent children accompanying applicants seeking permanent residence, similar to the process of obtaining a green card in the United States, facilitating the path of potential Canadian citizenship. Canadian authorities have also raised fees for several immigration programs, including federal skilled workers, provincial nominee programs, and caregiver pilots. Application fees were increased from $850 to $950 from main applicant, from $230 to $260 for accompanying dependent children. And still on the international scene, Senegal is marking the 64th anniversary of its independence from France. The newly inaugurated President Bassirou Diomaye Faye attended the ceremony in Dakar, according to report. This year's celebration were reduced to a flag-raising ceremony because of the uncertainty which prevailed ahead of the March 24th presidential poll. President Faye conducted the troop review before greeting the heads of country's institutions. Usually, Independence Day is celebrated with a civil-military parade in the vicinity of one of Senegal's most emblematic squares, Dakar's Nation Square. And this year's edition is under the theme "And the Forces at the Heart of the National Cohesion." The celebration took place a day after Faye's first address to the nation. And French President Emmanuel Macron has made a significant admission regarding France's involvement in the 1994 Rwanda genocide, stating that France and its allies could have stopped the genocide but lacked the will to do so. Macron's statement comes as Rwanda commemorates the 30th anniversary of the genocide. Macron acknowledges France's failure to act decisively during one of the darkest chapters in Rwanda's history. He asserts that France, along with its Western and African allies, had the capacity to intervene and prevent the genocide, but ultimately fell short due to the lack of determination. The genocide, which claimed the lives of over 800,000 people, primarily targeted ethnic Tutsis and Hutus. And now let's take a look at happenings in sport. Super Eagles have dropped 2 places in the latest ranking for the month of April, released by the Federation of International Football Association, FIFA. And Nigeria occupied the 28th spot in the last ranking because of the Eagles' second position at the 2023 African Cup of Nations, but the country has dropped to the 30th spot in the world. The Eagles, however, maintain 3rd spot in Africa behind Morocco and Senegal, who are both in the World Cup top 20. Africa champions Côte d'Ivoire moved a step up to occupy the 38th position in the world and 5th in Africa, while Egypt are 4th in Africa but 37th in the world. The next ranking will be published on the 20th of June 2024. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. For more, you can follow us across all our social media platforms and join our live streaming on YouTube. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to Trust Television.